the IDA to order and just put on the minutes on the table, everybody can.
1 second. Are you streaming?
Yeah, we should be good.
You're all good?
Thank you for
Thank
checking.
I'm sorry, just gotta make sure our TV shows,
me.
gotta make sure that the TV shows,
Are we
on,
going?
on.
Yeah.
here.
Oh, should be good.
Appreciate that.
You're good?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're good?
Okay.
Alright, sorry.
No, that's my fault.
I did look for bushes here and there. Alright, I'm gonna call the meeting of the IDA to order and looking for a motion if everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes. All in favor? Alright, public comment?
So, we've been talking about amendments to the uniform tax exempt policy over the last several meetings. We are required to give the public an opportunity to comment. So we made notice to all taxing jurisdictions several weeks ago. And this meeting also serves as an opportunity for members of the public to comment on our proposed changes. There are no members of the public here, so we want to count county administrator. Which I would not.
Not a public.
He's here, as a
No,
non-board
Not enough
member.
knowledge to comment, so.
We have not received any comments from taxing jurisdictions or members of the public outside of this meeting, and there are none present. So the item number 4 on the agenda is a resolution to approve the amendments as we have discussed. Again, your packet has the amendments, they are in red. Happy to answer any questions, but like I said, we have been talking about this for several months. Everybody's familiar with what we're doing.
Anyone have any questions or thoughts?
I don't.
Okay,
Motion to approve.
second, all in favor? Aye. So moved, thank you. The next one.
Next agenda item is just the policy that reflects the amendments that you took and how we handle intake of applications. Review of that, discussions with the board.
Questions? Motion?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, and the third resolution authorizing.
Is there a spreadsheet here?
We can if we need to go to the S drive and
Okay,
under Jamie to pull up the spreadsheet.
Okay, alright. Is it under the IDA?
It's just under the S drive if you go right in there into Jamie's old file.
Okay.
She'd be happy to know she's still around.
Yeah.
I'm still floating out there.
exactly.
Go to the site.
While she's pulling that up, we
It'll be
have,
draft IDA investment option. Right, one thing.
Oh, yeah.
we have a CD expiring at the end of this month, and we've been shopping rates, discussing things, everybody's, well, Fed met, rates dropped.
Yeah.
A little, depending on your perspective, they did drop. So the Fed is set to meet again in October, and we're not sure what's gonna happen there. Things could hold, things could drop again. But thinking about that timeline, our investments, we think 6 months is a good timing consideration for the investment of this CD. We've been shopping rates, and as of this morning, well, so we had, go ahead, Chris, where were we?
We're recommending we go 6 months at Lions National Bank for 4.25%, which will give us $4,700 in interest income over 6 months. You know, it's anybody's guess on which way we're gonna go down the road. Does inflation tick up higher? Does, you know, it's roll the dice and see what happens.
I mean, if you had a longer option with a rate you were happy with, I mean, rates are gonna go down.
Right, I'd agree.
We did look, you know, the best rates we could get were at 6 months. So we did look at 9 and 12 as well. Thinking about potential changes and investment strategies, this is kind of where we fell at 6 months as opposed to a year. Just given where rates are. Thinking about, you know, if we locked in at, let's say 3.8 for 12 months, where rates gonna be at 6 months from now? At 4.25 today, it could be at, I would guess, around 3.8, competitively at 6 months. And then, so it's, let's go 6 months.
Depending on
Even
what you
at
listen to, it could be.
We'll see, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
how it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
It could change, but this seemed like the best investment strategy, so we're recommending 6 months at that rate with LMB.
Make a motion, we move forward with that.
I'll second.
All in favor? Great. All right, performance measures.
We don't have to spend a lot of time working through this, I mean, I think everyone has a copy of our performance measures report. I have to give credit to Katie W. over here, she did a great job putting this together this year.
Yeah, it's
It's really nice. This is
I
great.
like the
This is
format.
great.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Very good.
Nice job. Yeah, love it.
You know, you lead through it, obviously you see all the kind of general updates, you'll see our activity map, there's some metrics on page 4 there. And I'll walk you through some high level stuff. You know, today's not the only day, you can comment on this, obviously. Not only that, but I would encourage you to read through it and ask questions as we work through not only this year, but
It's really nice to see, I mean, we've been asking for this for a while, so Katie, great job.
Yeah,
It's really
it's
nice to see it in a format that's easy to understand and visually pleasing.
So this is gonna be online as well?
yes.
I reminded you we had the traffic on your.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can
I said something.
So it's, I've been and it was good, but somebody told me it closed, is that not true?
No.
Okay, I was worried that it was true.
Which is road trip.
Hagenhead, it's in online.
It's really cute in there.
Remember they came for the phone.
Everything's in the wrong direction.
I.
It's-
I know, you're kind
a
of.
microburst grant recipient.
Yeah.
If you recall, we were running that startup program.
Yeah. No, this is great, this is really good. This is really good. Any other comments on this?
So it looks like they open on Wednesday at 3 o'clock.
Is the only public here, I would say, I saw the document, it's very impressive.
Yeah,
Good,
it's
good,
nice, isn't it?
good to see
It's
that.
great, I like it a lot. Okay, moving along to fiscal officer's report.
The only other thing I'd say is that when we make decisions, we should make sure that it goes back to our goals.
Yeah.
That like,
Yeah.
what we're doing, because that's the whole point is, are we fulfilling the
Meeting our
mission?
mission, yep.
Agreed. This is great.
Not a whole lot of change here, the biggest thing you're gonna see is the last checking account is the one that we were talking about, CD account is the one we were talking about that's gonna mature on the 30th, that we're gonna roll over to a 6-month CD. Other than that, not a whole lot of changes from the bank account standpoint. It's just the money market interest income, that's coming down too, it's 4.13 last month, that's gonna continue to go down, following the trend. And then from a financial standpoint, not a whole lot of changes from last month. There have been pilot bills that have been, that's probably the biggest thing, you know, there have been pilot bills that have gone out. We sent out 33, we've gotten 10 back so far, so we've got about 550,000 back, and we got about 800 still to come in payments. So gentle emails and phone calls will start this week, just reminders.
Because we're due September 30th.
September 30th, correct.
Any questions on the officer's report?
I had a question from last month on the difference to budget, but I'm trying to find my note. And I thought I was so organized that, because I wasn't here last month. Well, we canceled it the day of. It was about being off to budget on income.
So the budget you're looking at too, unfortunately, is 12/31/25. It's not August, yet the actual is through August. There isn't a way to compare it at
A
this
year
point.
today, okay.
Correct, so you're
Okay.
looking at 8 months versus the 12-year program. So that may be causing some of it. The things that stuck out for a new guy that came here last week, or last month for the first time, there was $100,000 in a water and sewer project that we've recognized $100,000 worth of grant, I guess I'm gonna call it,
So,
Ryan.
yeah, so,
So
I mean,
that's
we
the
can
big
get into
thing.
this, maybe this will roll in the project updates, but, we are, we have a bid out for a water wastewater study countywide. This comes up when we're doing business attraction a lot, lots of questions about the capacity and the availability of water and sewer. Been difficult to answer those questions, so, the IDA applied for is getting $100,000 grant from Empire State Development through a program called Fast New York that is about shovel-ready site development being matched by a budget item that the county provides to the IDA for projects. So that revenue is the $100,000.
So it's right, it's in the budget, but we don't have it yet.
We do have
We do have 100 of it, right, but there's 200 in the budget.
$200,000
Oh, you,
total
okay.
project cost, $100,000 provided by the county for IDA projects. And then the other $100,000 will be grant funded, it will be reimbursed, so the full outlay will happen, but we'll see what the cost of the study comes in at, those are due at the end of the month, or end of the month. End of the week, I should say, so, we'll see what those bids come in. And see what the total spend will be, I would imagine it'll be right around that number, but we'll see what comes in, and we'll have that in process. Be selecting a contractor sometime, that'll be done.
Chris, what else stood out to you?
The only other thing that stood out to me is $250,000 miscellaneous income, which is related to the Butler facility. Yet there's $250,000 expense, neither one of them have been incurred. So that's a big goose egg on it
Yeah.
at this point in time.
Okay.
Yep, but those were the two that stuck out.
Thank you. Where you see, account number 440,000, contract service income, there's no entry across the board for actual budget.
It's underneath it. It's
Oh,
the
it's
stuff that
closed.
comes underneath it. Yeah, it's all into that
3,000.
Yep, 3,000
Oh, okay.
and 44,
Okay.
so it's underneath there.
Okay.
And that 37.5, that's
Oh, I see.
3 payments of $12,500.
Insurance fees?
We get one more coming in the last quarter.
No. You have a question?
Yeah, they're different to read the business.
Well, I mean, it's
Yes.
significantly.
Takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
Budget, right?
Account service fees.
Which one's that?
Which one's that one?
Ken,
Yeah, it's on the last page,
604,220,
remember what we put in.
budget of 350.
oh, yeah,
Actual 5,075.
Accountant service fees,
Yeah.
that is because there was no me for a while.
Right.
And
Thank you, accountant service.
Okay,
Right,
Linda
that
oh,
was-
so you,
that's
you
the-
fall, you
Jess.
fall in there.
not me,
No.
but they had to hire outside accountants from
Oh,
Allied.
okay, so,
And that
Allied
one
okay,
goes
Accountants, I
that
don't
way.
know if it's the county
Yeah.
group or.
Yep.
Yep, so that's where it's going.
Yeah.
And you'll see that across the other one, I believe,
So-
as well.
What was it
We had a fairly minimal
$2,200
idea
a month?
of what we thought, we
Yeah.
didn't know
I think you're
staffing.
right, 2,400, I think you're right on it.
Makes
And
sense.
that's done now.
They're being
Well,
probably one,
easing them out of it, maybe, not so right now, but, working them out at the same. We do have audit coming up, and that ended our budget for next year, to be developed, so, we're talking about how much help we need with that. But they're not coming in, they were coming in twice a month, and, we're done with both of them. Or as needed,
Did they reduce their fee accordingly?
it's yes.
Okay.
Other questions on,
anything else on
budget?
finance?
I'm sorry, Kate.
Oh, that's fine. Alright, project update.
So in IDA, I'll just give you a few things. I did include a few slides. This is just an ongoing topic of conversation on energy and our ability to deliver power in areas that is needed. Lots of projects being stalled in the area. I think if you read the paper, you probably heard about the housing project in Canandaigua. There are several larger industrial projects in Henrietta that have stalled, and numbers to make improvements are substantial. $15 million is the number that they've been talking about required to serve that housing project in Canandaigua. So lots of ongoing discussions. At the same time, NYSEG and RG&E and all the utilities are proposing their new rate cases to the Public Service Commission. So they are going around and sharing details. Typically, rate case requests are done annually. Frankly, I think that causes problems because it's a pretty short-term view of what's required to not only maintain, but to improve the distribution system in particular. So NYSEG, RG&E is testing the waters with the Public Service Commission on not a full 5-year rate case proposal, but presenting them with a 5-year plan with a 1-year rate case proposal. So I included a few slides just to give you guys an idea on how they are looking at this. And I'll say at the end of the day, reliability of the distribution system is really the goal of the Public Service Commission, not a whole lot of work being done on how we need to improve the distribution system to meet delivery requirements. I'll tell you, I think we're doing what we can, which is, it kind of stems off of not only ongoing discussion with NYSEG, RG&E, but our business plan study, or business park study, was really intended to kind of give us a head start at least, identifying those areas in the county where we know we're looking to attract industrial projects. We share with the utility companies so they can start to think about and plan for those projects. There have been several substation improvement projects in the county and in the region. If you look at the second set of slides there, not only is it, so they're starting these comprehensive area studies, which is intended to identify those bottlenecks, if you will, on delivery, but there were some substation improvement projects in Sodas and here in Lyons, and another one planned over in Marion.
Brian, do you think those substation improvements were reactive or proactive?
I would say they were more general maintenance than a projection of trying to be prepared for future growth. It was kind of, oh, this substation's getting pretty old and we're having issues with something with switch gear or something like that. So I think a lot of it was really, we want to be prepared on the reliability side, and we don't want to see the substation go down. That's just me, and not an energy.
Well, that's what it seems like. I mean, if you've lived around here for a long time, the power used to go out when there was a storm or someone hit a pole. Now the power goes out all the time, and we don't have these businesses we're trying to attract. So what's gonna happen if,
Well,
we add to the
reliability and quality are two big
Right.
parts of businesses in general. You know, if the power goes out for a second, when we're at there's a precise piece of equipment.
that's a huge risk?
But you gotta repower it up, and then even fluctuations, even if power's being delivered, fluctuations in that power quality can cause machines, precise machines, some pretty big issues. The power project in Sodas reaches as far as make benefits in town of Ontario, where we have optics manufacturers who use precise equipment. But I would not say that this is any of these investments are really looking out for the future and some sort of utility, but it is, at the end of the day, all very expensive. You can get an idea about the numbers in some of the slides that I shared with you guys, but rate case proposals and what's approved at the Public Service Commission, there's always this negotiation point, and I've never seen the Public Service Commission approve a full rate case as proposed. There's always this kind of, all right, step it back. It will impact customers, it always does. Mark's been in meetings where we're talking about this. Regionally, I would say, in particular, the Finger Lakes region, has been a pretty strong vocal, had a strong voice on Fast New York as an example. There is a new program at ESD called Power Up that is intended to help provide funding for, say, substation improvements as an example, to help fund those expensive improvement projects that are necessary to help provide and deliver power to those attraction projects. More reactive than proactive, in my opinion. But there are lots of discussions going on about this. I would say that we have a pretty long history of a lack of investment in increasing the delivery and capacity, it's been a lot about maintenance and reliability, which is fine, and it really, you know,
Cause that's important too.
huge, I mean, when we're talking competitively, I mean, look at what happened, was it last year or 2 years ago in Texas where they had that long-term brownout, and that was a pretty significant impact on businesses there.
Wasn't it 16 days?
It was a long time, 16
Yeah.
days, 16 hours is a long time.
Right, yeah.
What that would be like.
Nowadays.
So, you know, there's this balancing act that the state has to do, and I think that all costs are, you know, these costs are trying to pass through to customers. And that's what the rate case is all about. So at some point, I think there has to be a broader discussion on a long-term investment strategy on the state side, a partnership with the utility companies. At the end of the day, you know,
The general public is getting squashed with these utility bills. I mean,
I think
if you look at
RG&E,
the- you know, just like your grandparents and all that, they're having a hard time paying these bills, so
Sure.
you wonder how this is gonna flesh out. Are they gonna push more to try to get the businesses to pay for it, or are they gonna do something different? Because it's gonna come to a point where there's people that just can't pay these bills.
Well, the kilowatt hour has turned into the kilowatt 15 minutes
Right,
with the smart meter.
Do you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
feel bad for some of these families because they're
it's
deciding,
crazy.
do I pay my utilities or go get food? I mean, some of them are living like that, so when you hear stuff like this, you're going,
and that's the balancing
Now
act,
what?
right, is how much investment do we need to
Right.
improve the distribution network?
I-
And
If
how,
I could just
go ahead,
add
please.
that, just to the county's perspective, and I'd be glad actually to share an email I recently sent to them related to just exactly what you're saying, Kay. The county's, so NICEAG RG&E want to meet with the board of supervisors to get our blessing on their request. I'm blocking a meeting until they provide to me the gross revenue in Wayne County from these increases and how that money will be implemented in Wayne County.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
that's pending.
Yes.
They keep telling me they're getting it. And the only thing that will keep me from writing a letter to the commission within the next couple weeks will be that data and the proof that it is being implemented, being used. Because the reality is, talking to Pam and Brian, not all this is for the minutes, by the way.
Well, Mark,
Okay, just, you know,
we are live streaming live.
okay, all right. Okay, I'll be careful. Well, let me just, I won't speak for anybody else other than me. How's that? It needs to be used in Wayne County. Not all of it, right? We get that some of it goes to salaries and, you know, basic maintenance stuff. I get that.
Part of the rate case is tree trimming, you know, it's
But
storm
20%,
recovery charge is a big one that.
20% is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, whether the old meters were that bad or the smart meters are screwing people,
That's.
people are getting screwed.
Yes,
I
people.
mean, I don't know what that is, right?
Right.
Were the old meters undercharging us and we got a break for 50 years? I don't know. But something's different. I mean, I can have all my bills for the farm and I can show you essentially the same usage, but I'm being told it's more usage. Not convinced, even month to month. So anyways, that's me personally, but as a county administrator, we're taking a pretty strong stance on this, and it will be a negative response to the commission if we can't have documentation of those things. That's just where I am on that. I want to see it used here, and the wisdom is telling me it's not being used here. It's going to statewide projects, which I don't care about. You know, quite honestly, I care about Wayne County.
If I could make a suggestion, maybe just ask them. RG&E used to have a heavy presence in Sodas, at the old Sodas gas and electric. But, you know, year by year, they just sort of, there's no base there anymore. Could you ask them about the possibility of maybe creating a base in Wayne County to service, like for instance, when a contractor needs service or connected or disconnected, that we could have a local office, like in Sodas, that would handle.
My mother used to hand deliver her bills there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
too.
I think that would be good for the local economy in Sodas, to have more employees
You know,
working there.
But are they
I
working
was
on
certainly-
different offices? Woken
They're
has one
probably
as
in
well.
Webster or in downtown or they just don't even have the employee anymore.
And I will certainly ask that, because you know, again,
It's like,
I will
it's
tell you
very
that the people on the street who I'm dealing with, I believe have a legitimate concern for Wayne County. You know, these are not evil people, they're not,
Right,
but
they're strapped.
they're strapped. You know, we've all been in businesses where you can always say, like right now, right, you can always say what you should say. And so I get that, but we're fortunate to have good reps that are listening. What happens with that, you know, is anybody's guess, truly. But my push is to have this infrastructure. If that's,
If they were gonna
if we're being told that's what it's for,
To your point, Mark, so when you look at all of the work that's happening, I know in Wolcott on Ridge Road, there's a big substation upgrade. It's not RG&E, it's like Osmos, it's these other companies that they're completely independent, and they're probably bid out jobs. And it probably happens at the state level, and it's not anything that considers where the revenue's generated from.
Right.
So.
and you know, again, that's just kind of the tact I've taken, and the board's okay with that, is I gotta tell you, I'm very like just pro Wayne County. Like I'm going to a nuclear conference in Syracuse next week, related to economic development stuff. And so that's being put on by NYSERDA. So we're also really involved in the not just the keeping of the existing plants, but even adding more. And there's others in the area related to economic development stuff that are with us. Again, I won't mention all the names, but there is, and so again, we just gotta keep pushing our county. I mean, I love New York, but I love Wayne County first. So that's what we're pushing for, and this board is committed to doing what's best for Wayne County. And any thoughts or ideas you guys have, either individually or through Brian, just share them with us. You know, we want to work in unison with you guys to make this place better when I'm not even here anymore. You know, that's our goal.
One more thing I'll just point out, and then we could, the Authority of Budget Office comes out with an annual report. They audit, I think it's 5 or 6 different IDAs every year based on, mostly focused on compliance, so as you guys I think know, they're required to post a lot of project information, a lot of annual reporting. I always use this report as a way to kind of say, okay, when they come to us, are we ready? I have to say, I'm ready. I think we're doing a great job. I reviewed every single thing we're required to have posted, including what is called an ST62, which is kind of a compliance on sales tax reporting detail and recapture provisions. Of the number that they reviewed, 80% did not post the required ST62. We do. It's kind of an obscure tax form that frankly we don't use a lot. It's really about reporting efforts to recapture sales tax benefits provided to projects which we have not yet to trigger, so typically it's a pretty easy thing to do, but we are in compliance with posting every single thing we're required to post. Live streaming meetings is another thing, and posting those meetings on the website is another thing, so I will email around the report if you'd like to take a look at it, please do, but again, I always use this report as a way to say, alright, this is what the ABO is looking at on compliance. There are also summary data and details on how IDAs are supporting projects statewide, so you can kind of get an idea about what other IDAs are doing. I'll say just in general, IDAs are empowered to issue taxes and bonds on that business. We've never really had a reason, frankly, to do it, but that business in general is down pretty significantly statewide. Well, I'm not sure if I would, more a finger on the pulse, I'm not sure I would point to one particular thing in the economy that's got that happening. Probably, it's always a matter of competing with general commercial interest rates.
Do you think that the use of a bond for Ontario County would be a good thing to help this development that needs $15 million to supply electricity to this housing project?
I'm not sure they could, to be honest, maybe, but that's the taxpayers bearing the cost of paying off that bond. how that happens. I mean, there are things you can, the tax increment financing is a kind of a general approach, I'm familiar with that. But taking the increase in taxes provided by a project and using those to pay off other improvements, potentially utilities, streetscape stuff, sidewalks, lighting, all that sort of thing. Maybe.
But wouldn't you say that this project is doomed if something doesn't happen here?
Yes.
There are,
It's-
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Where it makes housing less affordable.
Well, to be honest, I
And
mean,
it's
housing.
not even a project worth doing at this point, if they can't
Well,
figure out some other way to pay for that infrastructure, and that 15 million is Uptown's 25 now.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's great project.
But,
It's
I mean, I'll
so
say, you know,
it's
this is,
so, there's, unless something big comes in, there's funding, that's not happening.
this is
For
a,
600 units.
right, this is housing, right? And this is an area that the county has identified as one of their target areas for industrial development. So if they can't serve a new housing project,
They're not gonna get that.
what if they get an opportunity to land a bigger employer? There's a lot of larger regional things, everyone knows about Micron, there's the, if you're, I think we talked a little bit about this design corridor, stuff going on between Rochester and Syracuse and Buffalo. You know, all potential job creation, attraction, improvement opportunities along play, but the ability to deliver power to sites is a huge part of that. And if we can't meet a housing unit, it's a fairly smart development, but still, to your point, smart meters, time of day pricing, all that stuff could be coming, that's what it is, but I'm not sure it can solve the general issues that we have, which is bottlenecks and lack of capacity.
Do you think that because, these new developments are having trouble getting power to them, it actually adds value to existing buildings that already have power to them, all it has to do, or?
A little bit maybe, but, so it could,
What I'm saying is, does it add value to existing places that have services already to them?
having service already being delivered does present a potential benefit. At the end of the day, we're all using more power, and this is where discussions about new generation sources are coming up too, right? So it's not, it's delivery and generation, and I think a lot of times we end up talking about generation, right? There just isn't enough power, we're all using more, companies are using more, the projections from the New York State Independent System Operator, ISO, which is really about reliability, has us using basically doubling power in the next, let's say, 25 years. So where's that generation coming from is a big question. And when we depowered Indian Point, that was a large load generator that we lost. But there are lots of discussions at the state on potential development of a new nuclear facility, potentially upstate, TBD, but lots of ongoing discussions with Constellation and other potential providers. So, long-winded way to answer your question, maybe. Already having three-phase power delivered there, an improvement or capacity within that substation to maybe increase up a load based on a new customer or a growth project. Yeah, probably a lot easier of a problem to solve than I've got a greenfield development project here in Lyons, not far from a substation, but they need, right now I'm told we could serve about 5 megawatts, which is a good amount of power to deliver to any particular site for a project. There are projects out there looking at 50 or 100 megawatts. The state's very keen on clean energy development and attraction of, a solar panel manufacturer or something like that. Those are huge loads that I'm not sure we can serve anywhere in New York. So there's all these efforts on this business development attraction stuff, big picture statewide. But having sites that really serve those projects is a very difficult thing to figure out, to get to where we are with transmission
And the reality is, Micron doesn't go without another plant next week.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
And
That's-
I got
that's-
invited
that's
to
the
go
reality.
to a contractor thing, the award
Mhm,
show
yeah,
for the
did you go?
Micron.
Mhm.
No, it's the 24th, and I'm debating, cause it's, a long drive, and I'm just wondering, do you think it's a waste of my time to go?
No.
No, I think it's worth it.
I would definitely say, it would.
Yeah.
They had a
Be in the room, Julie.
Yeah.
So it's better to be in the room if you can.
similar, I don't know where this one, they had a similar thing at the Hotel
Oh.
Syracuse, in Syracuse, I think there were like 300 contractors there. But I think it would definitely.
Be in the room and certainly could be very good for your own company, but at least even just sharing your thoughts.
I'll stop there, we have a better agency.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mean, I know we're a little crunched for time,
No, I know,
so
yeah, because a couple of us had some hard stuff. Executive director, any of
that was my update to the
Other
ABO
business?
report.
So I had an other business that I maybe should have asked this when we did the minutes, but I wasn't at the last meeting. Can you just explain to me what we did for the, I'm calling it the repurpose of the loan? Did we loan,
Oh,
Is
we
this an
own the
EDC thing?
agency
oh,
to
sorry,
do the.
It's okay, if this is
Okay,
in the
alright,
accounting
okay,
report, we can
yeah.
get to that.
Okay,
in
thank
that.
you.
Okay,
that's
I just
So
wanna
next-
understand more about it.
Yeah, so the
Land-
next-
thank you.
The next meeting is October 28th at 9:10.
Yes.
8:30. That's what time I was.
No.
Anyways, okay, motion
Good for
to
you.
adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Alright, so we're adjourned. And we'll move to the EDC.
I'll take
Are
it.
we still streaming
We're still streaming.
for EDC?
It just stays on.
Okay, alright, that's fine, okay. So I'm calling the meeting to order for EDC, motion to approve the meeting minutes for September 3rd,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor? Aye. Carried. Alright, resolution, application of loan terms for specific.
So, Runaway Blue, you guys remember, if you weren't here, Runaway Blue is a small brewery located in Newark. One of our collateral for the financing was a vacation home, co-owned by the owners of the brewery. They are looking to sell said vacation home, proceeds of sale will pay off their debt with us. So this is just a resolution authorizing us to hold our collateral mortgage in escrow until we receive funds and then releasing our lien. It's pretty straightforward.
Alright, I'll take a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Performance measures.
Same report? That's all that is in hand. Okay. Any questions?
Any comments, questions? Okay. Executive session.
I would ask that the board motion to session
I'll
to
take
discuss financing.
I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Alright, we are now in
Awesome.
Again, not a whole lot of change to the bank accounts. The top account, the main checking account, the increase in that one is a $200,000 BOCES check we got back in July, and then last meeting, we talked about a $25,000 payoff that we got from an old loan as well, so that's the difference in there. Getting to the budgets versus the actuals, nothing really jumped out at me terribly at this. Recognized $100,000 worth of BOCES income for last year's lease, 6/24/25. That's when it expired, so we recognized it then. Let's see if any other questions, not a lot to it. There will be a change going forward because we have a new lease with BOCES and we got checks in September, so we're gonna see a difference there. Kind of went back to what I see, the old style where we get in $1 million, we get back X amount of dollars in a capital reimbursement fund that they spend on the infrastructure and keeping everything up there. So that's all transpired in September, so next time you see updated financials.
Very good on BOCES. To speed on that.
Yeah, maybe we borrow a maintenance plan that they have and maybe exercise that with free will.
We'll do that.
Just
Yeah.
because
Right.
we've already got it prepared,
Right.
you know, because there's
Right.
probably a maintenance plan in the lease.
Yep.
For the money.
Then the next section is the loans, and we already spoke about it, so I don't think unless there's any other questions, I'll take it.
Alright, any questions? Alright, project updates.
Just a few quick things, so we have a date for our combined real estate and financial breakfast. October,
It is Wednesday, October 29th at 8:30.
What is the date?
Wednesday, October 29th at 8:30.
Where is it?
It's gonna be at Ontario Country Club, and that's where we hosted our 2023 event. And then at 2024, we had it at Hog and Hen. I'm working on invites, the agenda, and menu, and I'd like to get invites out by the 6th, so be prepared. And then we're gonna have a survey, so everybody can register, and that'll close on the 14th, which is Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday. And we're working on the invite list, and we're gonna meet, I believe, this week.
the other thing I'll mention, and this is another long play, but there's some workforce development. And, Mark and I have been spoken about this fairly recently. But it is a new-ish focus area, staff-wise, for us. I shifted some of Ariel's time, rightfully so, in my opinion, and I'm happy to discuss that perspectives, but workforce development in general has always been, our county's workforce development office is housing and social services, and that kind of tells you, I think, a little bit, the mindset has been, getting people off of public assistance and into a job has kind of been workforce development. It's much different now, and it has been developing over time. It's different today than it was last year, but when I started doing this kind of stuff, it was way different. So economic development and workforce development are a big part of, workforce development is economic development. So ACT, work ready, I mentioned this to you guys yet? But no. So SAT, everyone's familiar with SAT, ACT, both are college ready prep tests. The ACT has developed a new testing program for job readiness skills, so not college ready, but workforce ready. So ACT Work Ready Communities is the initiative. It's nationwide. I always confuse these states, but I think it's the state of Arkansas has adopted a law that says everybody has to do this. In New York State, the only ACT Work Ready Community, certified Work Ready community is Oswego. Did that in the last 2 years. But there's a lot of discussion about this, and it's kind of this evolving, developing thing. It is a county level certification, so the county itself, when I first heard about this last fall, I got a resolution at the county for us to pursue this and work for county certifications. So the county doors open. We've been working through an application, and it's really kind of a 3-step thing. So one is the pipeline, it's not just for, but the pipeline of students, and school districts and getting students to this idea of, maybe I'll take this job ready test instead of the college ready test. So it's that connection to school districts, so we're very actively talking to BOCES as a representative of our school districts, so the Wayne County BOCES very bought into this, not just them, but Monroe and Monroe too are also very actively working through this. Monroe County has already submitted an application to ACT and is working through the steps to get it certified. We're right at the edge of that. Genesee County is also pursuing this very actively. The BOCES is interested in a more regional approach. The other, so the pipeline of folks taking the test, testing centers is another big part of this. Where do you go to sit in front of the computer and take the test? FLCC is at the table, very interested in this, not just as another pipeline for some of their students to test out, but as a potential testing center. So all of their campuses, including our campus in Newark, are on the table as far as testing centers go. I'd like to have maybe a few more sprinkled out there, to go to the east side where it's further away or harder to get to here in Newark, but look at those discussions. Then our role through this office would be that connection point to employers who say, you know, here, this is a credential that is market approved, that I buy into, that I know demonstrates a person's real readiness to fill a particular job. The way I describe all that, my little elevator pitch is, you know, if I'm in a business where, you know, the ACT job ready skill test will test you for reading comprehension, math skills, just to pick two of them. And I might be in a business where, you know, I don't care so much about reading comprehension, but math skills are good. So I can have a pipeline of potential people have tested, said, I'm interested in the job market, I have this credential, and I tested really high on the math skills. Maybe not so great on reading comprehension, but that's fine with me as an employer, understanding the process of going through those, the credential and that scoring and that rating of that potential job person.
So for years, the military's had the Armed Service Vocational Aptitude Battery, which does exactly the same thing. And high school guidance counselors would often use that to guide kids towards trade schools. And so it's they're sort of reinventing the wheel and maybe putting a commercial spin on it, but this has been around for longer than us. And it's good to hear that they're sort of formalizing the connection to industry, but yeah, I mean this is nothing new.
I remember doing it when I was in school.
It's
Like,
about
everybody went
fitness,
into,
Yeah.
you went into, I think it was a cafeteria,
Well,
actually at the time, they spread you all out and that was a testing
everybody's
job.
encouraged to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it was actually a little more formalized or geared towards hard skills, like electrical and mechanical knowledge, as well as you know, math and applied skills.
Well, those are the trades and, you know, all that,
Right.
that's really, this is kind of geared towards that, as I understand it. You know, we're learning is,
But the test you're talking about, was there a cost involved?
No, it's
I'm wondering,
government
There's probably
administered.
a cost involved,
there is.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's another
probably like
point.
$400-500
So-
bucks.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like
Oh,
Pam Helming
okay.
had something on her Facebook just yesterday.
I'm sorry, who?
about Pam Helming,
Uh-huh.
something about, I don't think she called it the same thing, but I feel like it was getting at the same thing.
ACT work ready community, I mean, I'm telling everybody,
It was that one.
Department of Labor staff, I think
Yeah.
this is a bit of a missing piece of this pipeline to filling the positions, and I think as far as our role goes, and frankly, the relationship we've been building with the school districts through the pitch competitions, like this seems like a good next logical step to, and you know, it's not, we're never gonna be a comprehensive workforce development agency. There's a role for us to play, and I think youth and pipeline and talent development is really a good role for us to play and help encourage, and that's what this is all about. So directing Ariel's time to working through on behalf of our county, and then the specific role will be engaging with employers and walking them through this and saying, you know, we're working towards this, we're looking for employers to buy in, that's part of the metrics, you know, we have, I don't know what the number would be now, but let's say we have 25 employers who say, yes, we're buying into this, we're interested in certificates and students coming out of this testing program. If we get enough of them to sign on, that's how you get certified as a work ready community, you have a percentage of your total employers buying into the credential. So that's our kind of role in this ecosystem. The cost, $120 per student, I think it's 2 tests. And we're kind of rounding up to say, okay, you know, at the end of the day, cost of testing centers, all this stuff, let's say $500 a student. and there are, in particular, BOCES, very actively pursuing and having discussions with, mostly on the foundation side, how do we subsidize this cost to make it free for students, or people who are interested in taking the test?
Yeah, they gotta get there to some degree.
The long-term
That's
sustainability of that, I
some-
don't know,
some
but
families.
I know, there are people out there who I think foundationally their mission is to help support things like this. So encouraging conversations, lots of interest, I know a lot of the local foundation folks that you guys are familiar with, I wouldn't name anyone in particular, because it's very high level. The players, community itself, other folks. Looking at this and interested in potentially supporting. So, that's the ACT update. We should do this.
No. No, it's just interesting, I just was looking at the blocks and this, sounds like exactly the same thing.
I don't remember that.
It's, so the thing that was interesting was that the scoring was different. Your score range is 1 to 99 because it was in percentiles. So you basically scored against everybody else. I remember taking it, it wasn't particularly hard. I got a 99. And, but for the most part.
Don't sell yourself short.
Well, it was geared towards kids going to the military, well, enlisting in the military. So it was not really. They were typically looking at a different strata. But it's interesting. They're
Doing it.
Well, I think,
Resurrect
at the end of the,
that,
even as broad as I can get with this, why are we involved in workforce? It's demonstrating to, in particular on the attraction side of things, that we are actively working and we have relationships with workforce development agencies are very nitty-gritty of this stuff, but we're actively involved in that talent development pipeline. If you talk to companies interested in locating in any of the ones we talk to are broadly looking at upstate New York. The first question on their list is now, and this is different, back when there's always incentives, what kind of incentives can you put on the table to help convince me? That's why IDAs developed in the 60s, right? We're losing projects to Florida based on incentives they're providing, and how does New York compete? Incentives are down the list. It is really access to talent is what is the phrasing that a lot of people use. I don't love it, to be honest, but talent attraction is something everyone's been talking about, even the last several years. The Rochester took the step, Rochester, Monroe County, took the step to pay people to move there, to try to attract talent. I hate it. I just cannot buy into that. I'm much more a proponent of talent development in our school districts. The education system here is really about that next generation of workforce, and I think that's the role.
Well, that's the one thing, testing knows where you stand, but it's not changing educating them.
True.
characterizing what you have.
I think, what we hear from employers, so as an
But you don't know
example,
it.
not to berate this. School, I have educators in my family, right, so yeah, I've got the cohort of kids that are going to college, we know this, they've been here for 4 years or however long, and they're going to college. And then I have the kids I know who are in BOCES and in trades, it's that middle cohort that they're like, I don't know what these kids are gonna do, so giving them an opportunity to test, like maybe the kids don't even know, I'm actually attractive to somebody involved in optics manufacturing. Well, guess what, the job's right in your backyard, and employers who are buying into that credential, that could wake a kid up, not only get them in a position where they have a path to a career, but an opportunity to stay here, and making that connection with those local employers on that skill set.
I think the other piece is gonna be characterizing jobs to test, like here's what you should be looking at based on your results. And maybe there's gonna be a labor component or where somebody from workforce development comes in and is really closer to this job. Okay, let's look towards this.
I agree with that. I'll say there's a ton of Finger Lakes Community College and their workforce development office and their new workforce development leader, I can't remember her job title. And BOCES are very much pushing this to the point to where, I bought into this a while ago, I've been having these conversations, and now they're kind of pressing me, hey, you make me an introduction to the IDA director at Seneca County in Yates, because our Wayne Finger Lakes BOCES is Wayne, Ontario, Seneca, and Yates. So that's kind of these focus areas that we're working through the BOCES, and they're very engaged and interested in continuing to move through and pursue this, and it takes a village, right? We're never gonna be the only, we could never shepherd something like this ourselves. The testing centers and access to students, or that pipeline of people taking tests. A good connection point for employers, and we can play that role with this, and again, I think, what are we doing? In general, small business development, business attraction, expansion, and then that workforce development component is another newish leg to the stool here, if you will. I think this is a good way to spend our time to make sure we're supporting that leg of the stool.
I like it.
Sounds good. And then in the whole, like, it's part of Ariel's job now, she should always bring up the edge factor. We're still paying for the edge
We're
factor.
talking about
Bring it
that,
up.
I'll be honest, I
Bring it up.
have not totally completely bought into continuing our membership with Edge Factor. I'm kind of asking for them to come to the table and convince me to keep doing it. I just don't get it.
I know SOTUS doesn't really use it.
We spoke about this the other day.
I did try.
There are,
There's other
when we
tools
started
that they
this,
use
it was like,
just
it was like,
got into it.
I don't know, the world was different, right now,
But
at
that's just
least from my
one-
perspective, and maybe I'm getting older. We have a YouTube channel now. We did not, and it was kind of completely foreign to everybody, right? So, oh, here's a built YouTube channel for workforce development. Sure, we'll buy in, and as long as we're helping populate it. At the end of the day, it was, all right, now we gotta get school districts to buy in, and I think it's just cumbersome. Whole membership, login thing, it just, it didn't play out. And I think technology kind of caught up with everybody. It's like, you can make a workforce career video on your cell phone. Look at the videos the students make.
Yep.
Voiceovers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I still, and maybe again, I don't know how they do it. It would be a pretty big learning curve for me to even figure that out. But kids do it really easily. So is there an easy way for us to, I still like the idea. Pull back the curtain, expose, there's a day of the life on the shop floor over at ADX, which you're not gonna know because there's no windows, who knows what goes on there. Pull back the curtain a little bit, expose people to what's actually going on. Look at the machine that you get to potentially operate if you're working. It's huge. I mean, it's as big as this. We fill this almost this entire building. One of their big extruding machines, but maybe there's a better way for us to do it. So, yeah, I agree. That's that good question mark. We're asking those questions now. It'll be a discussion point within our budget as we work through that.
I think we made a pretty big investment with them over the years. It's gotta be close to.
I mean, it's an effort, right? Not everything works out the way that you want it to. It wasn't
Sure.
a huge investment. It's not nothing. I'm not glossing over that by any means. Felt right. I mean, we're
Technology
playing.
changes.
Yeah, technology changed, that's
Well,
the thing, the
we're-
world's
we're
different place
playing
now
in
than
this-
it was 5 years
we're
ago.
playing in
Only
this-
8,000,
Right,
4 times a
exactly,
year.
it made sense at the time, great, but
we can all work from home and
yeah.
not do anything.
That's what
you relay that message to my boss.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I thought it was 8, so I remember signing a check for 8, but that might have been something else.
Maybe we did subsidize some of the video making at one point. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while.
Before any of these guys. But to that point of the leg of the stool, we're doing stuff now.
Yeah.
They're not all gonna work out the way we want them to, I want them, but it's a good effort, just didn't work out the way that I wanted it. It's a role for us to play. And I like the idea of us focusing on that youth, that talent. I think that's a role that's workforce ecosystem.
Yeah, they really had a dynamic presentation, I thought.
They blew me away. And
Yeah.
the first time I saw it, it was the owner of the company, Jeremy, was at a GRE meeting at MCC, and he did his thing, and it was like a TED Talk. And, he's walking the floor, he's got this big video, and the drummer from Rush,
Yeah.
as the thing. It's like, for me, that's cool, but other people are probably like, I don't like Rush, or who the heck is Rush, right? That maybe that's part of it, frankly. Who's the Kendrick Lamar, somebody else, the kid that got, is he old now?
He's pretty Katie, you were probably
He's
young.
right, yeah, he's still really young.
Katie, do you know
He just
Rush
did-
is?
he
No,
just
no,
did
we-
the, Super Bowl
He
show.
did.
Sorry.
Yeah, we had to watch.
Alright, I'm sorry, I don't have it, we can move right through
Just
this.
cause I gotta get,
Yes, Kate's gotta go, I'm sorry, Kate.
I was supposed to be in a
My
meeting
business,
right now.
Ryan, if we can just talk sometime, I wanna understand how that was with the land bank.
Let's,
With
we can
us.
end the meeting and then stay. And
Well,
I'll-
but I
Oh,
can't.
you gotta go too.
Yeah.
Things are still evolving with the land bank. We have approved our loan. There's some shoes that have to drop on environmental review and historic review over there for but the demo bid has been accepted. There's just a few permitting and other things that have to happen.
So but we are loaning money to the land bank,
We are prepared to loan the money to the land bank,
okay.
but there's a few final things that have to happen.
I was just, what didn't make sense to me is like, we are funded by the county and we're loaning money to the county, just, that,
We are funded by the county.
well,
So the only eligible applicant for the loan fund are municipalities. So the IDA or the economic development are not eligible applicants. The county applied and received the revolving loan fund money. But they are not administrators of loan funds, we are.
Right.
Through the economic development. So we'll administer the loan fund on behalf of the county, and that's what we're doing. The county kindly pre-funded the loan, the $1 million.
okay,
We could draw on that without having to wait, if you will, for the treasury and everything else. The way this is working out, it might not make a difference, it's just, it gets very technical when you get to drawing funds and paying for brownfield remediation stuff. But we are kind of basically set up and just about ready to do this. So frankly, at the end of the day, it's really about SHPO getting the heck out of the way and signing off on things.
Okay.
I'll stop there. I'm happy to elaborate on any of that at any point.
Okay, so our next meeting is October 28th at 9:10, and I'll take a motion to adjourn. So, second. All in favor?
Sorry, thank you for the time.
Thanks.
I appreciate
Chris,
it.
nice to meet you.
It was very nice
We can
meeting you.
officially meet.